Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're doing really well. So today I want to talk about something. A couple days ago while searching on the internet, I came across Jim and his YouTube channel called Ripkurt. He created a DIY wedge camper for his Toyota Tacoma. Now, for a while I've been looking for something like that for my Colorado ZR2, and the reason being is because usually when on longer trips, I only set up my rooftop tent for one night and I have to be ready to keep going the next morning. So I have to pack everything up again, throw it in the back of the truck and continue going. Now, that's when I started to look into the option of the wedge campers. I came across the Go Fast campers and the Alley Cap, and then I quickly realized that that's gonna be a real expensive purchase. Some of them start at around $7,500 US, and that for us in Canada is like $10,000 plus shipping. And on top of that, you have to wait over a year for your camper to be manufactured. That's when I started to look a little deeply into Jim's design, and I realized that that's something I could very well do for myself. So finally, last night I decided to pull the trigger and I went ahead and ordered all the parts and hardware that I'm gonna need to build this wedge camper. I ordered all the aluminum extrusion, including all the hardware like hinges and gas struts and bolts and you name it, everything that I'm probably gonna need. The neat part about this is that Jim already has a spreadsheet with all the parts that you will need, from hinges to rivets to washers. Everything is in there, so you can just download the spreadsheet and go through it quickly and figure out what you're gonna need if you want to change anything, and then you have a complete list, and it makes a whole world of difference when you want to order and you actually don't know, oh, I wonder how many bolts of this size I'm gonna need. You don't even know what size bolts you're gonna need. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to build it for myself, because I was a lot more confident after looking at Jim's already homework and all the putting all the thought into how everything was gonna fit. He already did it, so for us it was a lot easier, in my opinion. Now this is gonna be a lot of new territory for me. I have never done any sewing in my life. I've never worked with aluminum extrusion. I've never worked with alu panel, I believe it's called, where he used for the side doors and all that stuff. So I mean, I'm looking forward to learn something new. I'm definitely the kind of guy that always wants to learn something, but I'm also kind of like a little nervous about how things are gonna turn out. Definitely gonna have to ask for help to my wife when it comes to sewing. I've never sewn anything in my life, so that's gonna be a little tricky there. But anyways, I'm very excited to see how this is gonna turn out, and of course I'll bring you guys along in the process. I'm sure I will make some mistakes there, but I guess it's part of the learning process. So I'm gonna get myself busy right away. I'm gonna go to the lumberyard. I'm gonna pick up some 2x4s, and I'm gonna make myself a jig that is gonna help me when welding the space frame together. I want to make sure all the angles are where they're supposed to be and all the pieces are square and stuff like that. So I still have to wait for the rest of the parts to arrive. I have no idea how long it's going to take to get here to Canada, but I expect at least 2-3 weeks. That's going to give me time to, I think, put the space frame together. I don't have a time frame to get this done. I do have a full-time job, obviously, and I think I'm just going to have to do little bits of work on the evenings and maybe on the weekends if I'm not out there camping. But yeah, I'm very excited. I can't wait to have this finished and be able to actually have that set up that I've been wanting already installed in my truck. So please come along and we'll get this project underway. Okay, some progress has been made. I just finished stacking all the pieces together for the space frame. Tomorrow I just gotta test fit it in the truck make sure everything fits properly before I finish welding everything together. As you can see, I chose to use the 1 by 3 inch rectangular tubing at the bottom, and the reason for that is because the sides of my truck bed are pretty wide. They're actually the back of the truck is 3 inches and the front of the truck is 4.5 inches. So I went with the 3 inch wide rectangular tubing to kind of like to cover as much area as I could. Alright everybody, big update on the camper build. As you can see, the space frame is almost complete as far as the welding part goes. I did some major changes compared to the original design that Ripcore had in his YouTube channel. Majorly, as you can see here on the sides of the space frame, I am planning on having just a section of the side door opening instead of the whole panel. I kind of want to have slightly smaller windows, so I went that route. So basically the window is only going to be opening 4 feet from this corner to this other corner. That's about 4 feet right there. Also, my favorite part so far is this one right here. Let me show you. I kind of want to be able to move the bed out of the way a little bit when you're standing inside the camper, and that's going to allow me to do that. I incorporated those gas struts. They're the same ones that I'm going to be using for the side doors, and they seem to work perfect. Pretty happy how this turned out. Okay, so the space frame is now painted. It's just drying right now. Looks pretty good. And also down here I have the aluminum extrusion. I've been having some issues to square it up. I'm not quite sure if the factory cuts are 100% square or perfectly square, but anyways, it's being held by those clamps for now. I'm gonna attach the hinges and the handle, as well as the rubber seal, to finish connecting these two pieces. As well, I have the panels for the roof and sleeping platform. I think I'm gonna move towards working on those next. Alright, here's a quick update on my progress. As you can see, I have both the front and back panels installed on the space frame. Well, the front one was fairly easy, about 3 straight cuts. That one went in without no issues. And then for the back, here's where things get a little more interesting. as you can see, I have the filler piece over here, and I have the hinges for the door at the top. And this is how the door is going to work. Took me a little bit of work to make it line up and work like you were supposed to, but it's working now. Now I couldn't find black rivets anywhere, so I ended up using just the regular aluminum color rivets. I think I would probably, I don't know, try to paint them and see what happens. It's finally coming together. Okay, we have done some pretty good progress here. As you can see, we have both the roof panel and the underside of the aluminum extrusion panel on, at least half of it. This is upside down right now, that's why there's only half a sheet on the top. That's actually the bottom. That's where the top portion of the camper shell is gonna join the space frame. So basically that half sheet that you see down there is gonna come to right about here, and then from there on it's just gonna be an independent piece, so it can lift. And then we can fold it back down when we're ready to sleep, just like this. So I just want to show you really quick here what I have done. So like I was saying, that piece down there is just gonna stop right around here, and then from there on I just added this little strip of the alu panel. This is just gonna be just enough to clear these hinges and the rivets, so it's pretty much gonna sit flush with the top of this hinge, or it's gonna pretty much sit on top of the rivets actually, and that's gonna come all the way across like that. And then over here that I don't have a hinge, I just added a full width strip of alu panel. Same thing over here and over here. So I think I'm just gonna put a bunch of silicone over here when I go to join the two pieces together, the aluminum extrusion and the space frame. Just make sure I got plenty of silicone here, so we stop any water or dust from going into the camper. And yeah, I think that's gonna be my next step, join the two pieces together, and we'll see how it goes. Well guys, it's been a while since I give you an update. As you can see, we finally have both the space frame and the top of the shell together. I've been putting a lot of work into this, like trying to get it done. I finished adding the rest of the filler pieces here and on also around the camper. I finished building these doors. As you can see, that shock is kind of like giving me a little bit of an issue. I think it might be bad. I don't know, I have to look into this a little deeply. But so far this is working. The locks are working. I gotta play around a little more with the seals. I am getting a little bit of a gap here. I think it's because of the shock wanting to push this side door panel out, and it's not creating a flush finish here. I gotta play around with this a little bit more. The wedge itself also opens and closes now, just like this. Pretty sweet, hey? I got the seals installed on the bottom extrusion. Now these shocks are slightly shorter than the ones that Ripcord calls for. These are only, I believe, 29 inches long versus 36 that he calls for. And the reason is because I couldn't find a 36-inch shock locally, so I had to just get these ones for now. They seem to be working fine. I don't know if I'm gonna have to replace them for the longer ones. I'm gonna keep them for now, and then we'll go and see if they need to be replaced or not. But now let me show you. I just came across my first kind of like big problem here, and I'm gonna show you here on the back door what I'm talking about. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like the pressure from the shock is too much for the alu panel, and it cracked right there. Seems to be putting way too much stress on the panel. This latch is open. Let me open this other one and just check this. I do have the stiffeners on the inside, and that's exactly where it cracked, right here on the other side. That's exactly where it cracked, right there. It's kind of like a major problem. Oh, there it goes. Just completely destroyed the panel. Anyways, I knew I had to replace this, so the only idea I can come up with is replacing this panel with the full aluminum sheet. I know it's gonna be a little heavier. It's not gonna be the same color, but I think it's gonna be strong enough to support all the stress that is gonna be put when opening and closing this rear door. Probably gonna have to paint the aluminum piece that I'm gonna use to replace this with to kind of like match the color as close as possible. But I mean, that's the only idea I have so far. I don't want to replace it with another piece of alu panel, because I know it's most likely going to happen the same thing. For the other door, for the side doors here, it seems to be having almost the same issue, but not as much. Right here in these corners, it seems to be having a little bit of stress there. But I think it's probably gonna be fine. I don't know in the long run, we'll have to see. But it seems to be working for now. As you can see, I also have the stiffeners on the inside. Here goes. Anyways, this is holding me back right now. Obviously, I gotta come up with something. In the meantime, I think we're gonna move towards the sewing part and building the tent. That's my wife back there. I don't know. She probably needed to tell me something. She's gonna help me a lot with the sewing anyways. I don't think I have the ability to do that. Well, maybe I do, but I don't know if I am up to the challenge. She has a little bit more sewing experience than I do, so yeah, she's gonna tackle that part for me. Anyways, my next step here is I'm gonna lift it up. I got a hoist on the roof up there. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm gonna lift it up and try to put it on the truck. Make sure everything still fits, and come up with a plan for this. Everything else is almost done. Inside here, I haven't added the panel for this, but it's just sitting here. It's just sitting here. I just haven't added because I don't know. I think we have more. It's easier for us to work in and out of this without the panel being attached. It's just a couple rivets anyways to attach it, and shouldn't take long. But yeah, everything else seems to be working like it should. Just these, you see it right there. Anyways, that's the update for now. Done?
Yep.
Woohoo! Alright, that was the final stitch for the tent. We're done. Took way longer than we expected, but it's finally done, I think. We're gonna go install it on the camper, and we'll be pretty much done. It's been definitely a long journey, but we got it. Here's the rest of the tent. Thank you so much to my wife for helping me out. She's been putting a lot of hours building this thing. Anyways, we're gonna go install it, and we'll let you know how it looks. I will show it to you.